Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the NXT review for the 26th of July 2011. We open with a short review of the history between Tyson Kidd and Yoshitatsu over the issues with the action figure and the breaking of the leg of the action figure. Tonight they will go with a necklace on a pole match related to that whole process. We open also with Titus O'Neil in a match here. More continuances there of former deal. We see Derek Bateman, aka eventually Ethan Carter III. He is going to be fighting off against O'Neil here, and he's wearing kind of a Rocky Balboa sort of motif. Strips down into bluer tights, and then O'Neil, who has been the star of this particular season, bounces him around, and a couple of shoves there by Titus O'Neil. He is dominant, using power throughout the contest and hitting several forearms and other basic maneuvers, trying to get everything he can that way. Big toss out of the corner by Titus O'Neil. O'Neil then manages to get a body slam right in the middle of the ring there and drops the elbow on his adversary and ultimately tries to come up off the ground with that scenario, but gets in the reverse chinlock, and finally Darren Young, who's on the outside of the ring, who basically has feuded with Titus O'Neil for what seems like a time that doesn't end, continues, takes a couple of shots at him there. Bateman goes to the outside of the ring. Odd that Daniel Bryan really isn't a full-on heel at the time, but is managing or proing Bateman at the time. Bateman misses a shot in the from the corner and clotheslines along the way. Doesn't get everything he wants. Sidewalk slam by O'Neil, and O'Neil manages to go after things there. And ultimately, hard shots by Titus O'Neil, and O'Neil manages to sidestep things there. Ultimately, doesn't get everything he wants. Back elbow. And drop kick in the corner with O'Neil getting distracted by Young on the outside of the ring. They show the replay after the match that basically there is the steal of the win. AJ Lee and Hornswoggle go heads up in a backstage segment, and AJ Lee kisses Hornswoggle. Maurice makes fun of him for that. More challenging between Vladimir Kozlov and JTG. Things get heated up there as they continue, and then the I guess mocked up action figure, including kind of a bit of a challenge there, as the action figure is taped up, having its leg ripped off and the like. Tyson Kidd blocks Yoshitatsu from climbing the pole to try and get the action figure, tossed to the outside. Really basic situation, and ultimately gets things going in that direction. And I'm going to grab my phone, so we'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail to continue this particular program. And again, the match goes to the outside of the ring, which is pretty basic here. It's pretty good, and as mentioned, basic as it relates to kind of taking shots. A couple of roundabouts there, and we see a running knee into the side of the apron by Tatsu. Tatsu eventually does get back into the ring, but there's more brawling on the outside before that happens. This is probably one of the better matches of this particular season and the series between Tatsu and Tyson Kidd, which runs over um, the next several, I guess, runs is pretty basic there. Um, Ultimately, hard shots and you know continuation. Tatsu gets sent into the post on the um, turnbuckle, and both guys get shoved off back to the floor. The brawl continues. Tyson Kidd loads up the knee pad on the outside a little bit, tries to get every advantage he possibly can, doesn't get everything he wants, but we see Tatsu go in shoulder first into the post and then an upside down kind of tree of woe sort of thing in the corner. They go back to the outside, they brawl on the outside, crotching on the steel post, back on the inside, and Tyson Kidd is in control. Obviously, the groin issue is there, and Tyson Kidd makes his way to the top of the post and doesn't get a favorable reaction for that. We go to highlights of Raw to close the program, but that is where we end. In any event, hopefully you enjoyed this. We'll be back with more right after this.